Hello and welcome back. It's puzzle time with Sudoku Sleuth, and today we're going to be playing Circling the Drain. Now, whenever you come across a particular puzzle's title, you have options. You can go with a literal interpretation of the title. You can essentially have Sleuth standing above a sink watching water drain for one reason or another. Or you can go with a metaphorical interpretation where things are looking like doomy and gloomy, and it feels like things are circling down the drain. And you can see very clearly by the colored choices today that I've gone for the lateral interpretation here. And I think it just started with just a bunch of clumsy solves on my past in the last few days. You know, missing some obvious things that would have immensely helped with the solve. Kind of messing up the microphone volume. And in the process of trying to fix the microphone volume, I ended up upgrading the software, then not realizing that it reverted to the normal standard settings of recording in standard definition, and then looking at some of the recent YouTube videos and thinking that looks a bit, anyhow. Right, this particular puzzle, from FullDeck and missing a few cards, this is my chance to sort of redeem it all, not circle the drain, and get back on track. Nice smooth solves, and microphone volume clearly back at normal, high definition recording. We're doing all the right things. Let's take a look at today's puzzle and rule sets. And apologies to FullDeck and missing a few cards. I can't imagine you necessarily meant to have this dark, twisted interpretation for your title, but you never really know. And can I just say, obviously, there is clearly some circling that's going on around here with all of these arrows, and I guess the drain is very much down in box 5. Very much the digit in the middle here. Right, rules-wise. So standard Sudoku rules apply. That means place the digits 1 to 9 once each in every row, in every column, and in every 3x3 box. That's one set of rules. Second set of rules is the arrow sum rule. So digits along an arrow must sum to the number indicated in the circle from which the arrow emerges. Digits may repeat along the arrows if allowed by other rules. So for example, if this cell here is a 1, nothing stops me from having a second one. For example, that's 2 1s, and that's a 2. That's going to be allowed under today's rule sets. And indeed, as you look around the puzzle, you can see that there are certainly going to be some repeated digits. But these 3 cells, whatever they sum up to, is that circle, and so on and so forth. Then we have ratio dots. So cells separated by a black dot are in a 2-to-1 ratio. So if this cell here was a 2, this would have to be 1 or a 4, so that one cell is essentially double the other. Now, not all dots are necessarily given, so I kind of read ahead to make sure that this 1 and 2 is not going to cause a problem, and it doesn't. The absence of a black dot, even though the 2 is clearly double the 1, is not a problem under today's rule sets. Negative constraints do not apply. So, that's all the rules we have for today. It's always a joy solving one of FullDeck and missing a few cards puzzles, and I'm sure you would entirely agree, whether you feel like you're circling the drain or not. Cheer yourself up, pick yourself up, and this is the puzzle to play. Link will be in the description down below for you to join. And with that said, I'm going to restart the clock and see how I get on. Right. So I'm going to say something like, despite the seemingly rotational symmetry around this puzzle, this is not a rotationally symmetrical puzzle. I'm very tempted to put a 5, by the way, in here, and the reason I'm saying that is the arrow sums by their nature are not rotationally symmetrical. But I'm just going to double check that I am not missing something. So yeah, I'm just doing some coloring quickly. I'm not sure how useful this is, but rather than trying to go for a clumsy solve, which I sometimes do, what I'm going to do is spend just a few minutes to appreciate the construction of this puzzle before I get on with trying to plug in a few numbers and figure out what's going on here. So yeah, they are clearly entirely rotationally symmetrical. It's just, of course, if I try and put a 1 in here, rotational symmetry would mean that this is a 9, and that's absolutely nonsense. You're not going to have a 9 on a 3-cell arrow adding up to a single digit. So that's what I mean by the rule type itself is not rotationally symmetrical. So I don't think, and I'm going to restart, but just keep the time just to clear the puzzle. And the other thing that I'm just sort of tempted to do, I think the break-in is about the black crop dots. And I just want to get a sense of where they all are by just highlighting them and just seeing if there's anything significant about its geometry. I mean, I think there is. I feel like this block and this block are kind of significant. So I think this is probably where we're going to start first. Right, quick reminder of black Kropke dots. So there are two sets that are allowed on black Kropke dots. 1, 2, 4, and 8, essentially powers of 2. Then there's the 3, 6 pair, and this is the only set that's allowed. And then nothing else is allowed. I'm just going to again double check. So I mean, box 2 has 4 of them. Actually, so does box... Could it be that this is about 5, 7, 9s? It may well be. It may well be. You see, look, initially I'm just thinking, can I color them? And I'm sure I could. But the challenge is, because 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 4, 8 kind of chain. So even if this is 1 and 2, nothing stops me from having 2 and 4 here, for example. So nothing stops me from reusing these cells in here. The last thing that's sort of catching my attention, I say last thing, I'm hoping there's going to be more if I don't find a break-in from what I'm just going to show you, is these 2 arrows that are pointing into box 5. And the reason for that, and it's easiest demonstrated with a digit, is if this cell is 2, well, this is clearly the bigger digit, so that it can actually be, the sum. And the nature of the black dot means that these 2 cells have to be the same, so that they can add up to the 4. And the same is exactly happening in here. So I'm wondering if, so in a way, one of the reasons why I was saying that is this about 5, 7, 9, because if I color all the cells that actually belong to black Kropke dots for a second and just turn them all gray, and now notice I've included these even though there is no black dot on them, we know that they're the same. It starts to kind of get tricky, doesn't it? Particularly for 9s, because 9s are none of these cells. 9 is one of 2. 9 is one of 3 in here. Of 3 in there. No. I mean, it's interesting, but I don't think this is the break-in again. So we may end up revisiting this. Maybe this column, let me have a think. It's not that. I mean, there's still quite a few places where the 9 can go. Row 5 is also quite interesting. There is essentially 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 black Kropke dot digits out of a possible 6, mind you. And 9, well, not this cell, these 3 cells. Interesting. Anyhow, that hasn't hugely amounted to much, and I'm not sure I'm gonna attempt coloring, and then see, we're not off to a great start, by the way. But I am gonna attempt coloring. And I'm actually going to focus on row 5 where we had so many of them. So let's say this is blue. We know that this cell is neither of these. So I've paused for a second to see if I can actually get this cell to match either of them. Let's go with, if this is 4, 4, 8. Yeah, the fact that the 4s are not available. So okay, let's try that again. 1, 1, and 2. Yeah, I can still do something like that. So what I can't guarantee is that this is not blue, like these 2. What I can guarantee is that this is definitely different because the 2 blues are looking at it. I also don't know if this is green or yellow. I should kind of, essentially, I'm just sort of thinking about, if I had 6 cells, then I know they're going to be paired up as such, so that, there are no repeats. And essentially one would be, I don't know, blue, green, and yellow for the sake of argument. But the challenge, of course, is that it's only 5 cells, and therefore I could potentially... No, let me finish that thought, Sleuth. Finish that thought. 3, 6. What's special about 3, 6? I'm pretty sure I can't make this a 3, 6 pair. Because what that would mean is that one of them is going to be a double 6 to get to 12. So, but I could have one of these being a 3, 6 with a double 3 getting to a 6. And I assume nothing stops me from doing 1, 2, does it? I could essentially have a double 1 with a 2, double 2 with a 4. That could be 3, 6. And then that could be 4, 8. And I guess in this case, because of the arrow sum, that could be a 4. That could be a 2. And we're done. So this can be green, but it can also be yellow. And same is true for this one. That is a shame. Is there something more obvious that I'm missing? You see, I've kind of dismissed the arrow sums, because, these can be as low as 4. So they're kind of not that interesting. And I feel, given the rotational symmetry, is interesting in terms of these solved probably in mid-game. But the break-in is very much about these black crop kills. At least that's my thought process. So, when all else fails, I get my letters out. Let's start from the beginning. This is A, this is A, this is B. We know that this is different from A. We don't know if it's B or not. And what I'm going to do is, for the sake of argument, just color all of these as one set. Now, nothing stops this from being, let's say, B and the next one along, as in double B. Maybe I need to be using the arrow sum simultaneously. So forget these for a second. Maybe they're a distraction and just focus on box 2 where we have so much. How big can these digits realistically be? I mean, I can genuinely put 8, 1, 1, and a 4 and a 9. No, I can't. Okay. So this is a maximum of 6. But I can have all the other black crop dots. Let's think about 6. 6 and 3. That would mean these are a 1-2 pair. And whether they're the same or different, this almost certainly makes this a 4-8 pair. And why do I say that? I don't think it necessarily does that, because I could do 1 and 2. Yeah, once it's 1 and 2, this can't be either, in which case it would have to be 4-8, and this becomes 9. But if it is a double 1, which is also a possibility, is I could have an 8 here, and then I could have a 2, 4. But I guess the fact that I've shown that there are two ways of getting to answers with a 6 on here, I can't rule out the 6. Okay, so I am going to do colors. I'm going to use blue, yellow, and red. And until I know which one is a 3, 6, I'm really not sure I could do a lot here. So we know A is in here. And we know that this is no bigger than 4. Which I think, well, I mean, we've shown that we could do 1, 2, 1. No, that wouldn't work, would it? Because the 1 in here would put a 2 there. So that can't be as low as 4. This is 5 or higher. I could do 1, 2, and a 2, and then a 4 in here. And because A is a maximum of 4, that is not A. Now, if this is A, that would be A again. All right, we're onto something now. So that is A. And this is going to be something that's different. I'm going to lose the B for a second so I can save it and use it for something else. B is one of 2 cells, and double B is whatever it will be. Now, can B be here? And we've already said that this is a maximum of 4. It would make these 1, 2, and 1 to get to 4, and that would be 4, and that would be 8. And then I could still make this work with a double 3 and a 6. So I can't actually rule out B out of this arrow sum. What was A again? Double 3, 6, 4, 4, 4, 8. Yeah, not seeing the problem. It's unlikely. It's very specific. It's unlikely, but possible. Now, because A and B are here, all of these are different. So we've got another 5 unique digits in here. And we already said that this is at least a 5. So this is 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Colors are not helpful right now. For the sake of argument, let's just do that. So this would be there for D, E, F, because we already placed A, B, and C. And then E has to also have a double, but we don't know if it's D, C, or F, or B for that matter, actually. I'm not sure it can be B, can it? Let's think about this. No, it could be. The reason is essentially I was thinking that if I have 3 unique digits on here, then I have to have either a 1 or 2. And if I have a 1, then there's a partner of 2, and then this would have to be, well, it doesn't have to be the same digits. It could be anything, actually, so no, ignore that. Anyway, long story short, having a different black crop key dot digit in here is not an issue. So this is, it literally could be any of them. It could be C, D, not A, it could be B, and it could be F. I'm kind of questioning is, what is this cell? I'll explain where I'm going with this is, so I'm looking at box 4 and I'm realizing that there's a lot of black crop key dot digits. The only one I haven't placed is F. And then I need 5, 7, and 9. Now, the fact that I'm adding 3 digits that are black crop key dot digits, I'm sort of wondering if I can even get to a black crop key dot digit myself. So we've already established that 1, 2, 1 doesn't work. So 4 is off the table. Is 6 on the table? Yeah, I could do 1, 2, 3. No. No. Because that would be 1, 2 in here. And then if I put a 3, that would be a 6. So I couldn't put a 6 in here. So I would have to repeat a digit. What could it be? And if it's not 1, 2 in here, like if I go for the next one up, which would be 2, 4, it's already too big. So I'm not sure I can get to 6 in this setup. Because 1, 2, I would need 3 in here, and the 3 would have a 6. And anything that's not 1, 2, it's too big. 6 is off. I can get to 5. We've already shown that. I can get to 7. 1, 2, 4 is not an issue. An 8, a 7. 1, 2, 2 with a 5. We've covered these. The question is this even an 8? And what are my options? Not many. I could do 2, 4. That would get me to 6 with another 2 and a 1. That would work. So 8 is on the table, sadly. I was just wondering if I can even eliminate the 8, but that's as far as I could take it. We know C and D go together. We know D, E, F, we know that there is a pair of them that go together. Interesting. Is it time to think around what some of these could be? So remember, we've established that this is not a 3-6 pair because a double 6 would get to a 12. However, of the 3-6, we have to use at least one of them because we've got 5 black Kropke dot cells. Let me think about this for a second. If this is something like 2-4 in here, I feel like I'm going to be in trouble. You know, what would this cell be? Well, if it's 1, no, 1 actually works. Double 1, 2, 4, 2. It does work. And then this would have to be 3, because anything else is too big. 6 and 8 won't work, and then double 3 with a 6 is fine. So I would have essentially used 1, 2, 4, 3. This would have to be 6 or 8, which is too big again. 6, that would be 3, and then that's way over 9. So I think 2, 4 breaks, doesn't it? Because these cells have to be from 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm kind of wondering if I made a mistake using large digits. They are from 1, 2, 3, 4, and they are A, B. So if I eliminate 2, 4, I'm left with 1 and 3, which again, we can make it work, but then I'm left with 6 or 8 in here. Right. What about 1, 2? I have the same problem, don't I? Yes, I do. 1, 2 would leave me with 3, 4, and then a 6, 8 again in here. So 1, 2 is out, 2, 4 is out. What about 4, 8? I don't see a problem now. I mean, progress, this is 3, 6, 4, 8. This is another one that is quite limited. Yeah, it can't, it's from 1, 2, 3, 4. Any bigger, and again, it will break this cell. So I have 3 of 1, 2, 3, 4 in here. And then essentially I either have 1, 2, 3, and this is 4, 8, or I have 1, 2, 4, and this is 3, 6. Interesting. Let's keep going with this logic. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, and therefore this is either 2, 4, 6, or 8. So I'm trying to remove the letters. Yeah, maybe it's time to color these rather than use letters. So this is green, this is blue, this is not A. Okay. And then because this is a low digit that is different from these two, that is, call it yellow. Now, this can't be 6 or 8 for the exact same logic. This has to be 1, 2, 3, 4. If it's 6 or 8, that would be 3 or 4, all of which is too big. And this is huge now. If this is 1, 2, 3, 4, well, it's not blue, it's not yellow, and it's not green. It's the fourth digit. Orange. Okay. We know that this is blue. We've determined that previously. If B is here, if this is green, let's not use B. If this is green, this would have to be 1, 2, 1. which I'm not sure I can do. 4. Let's think this through. Essentially, this would have to be orange, because it'll be the 4th one. Is that even possible? No, because then I would use the 3 and 4, and then I'm left with nothing to join the 6 and 8. Is that correct? Yeah, because 1, 2, 3, 4 are gone. And therefore there's none left for this black crop dot. So that can't be 1, 2. And because it's not 1, 2, this can't be green. This is green. And this is 1, 2, 3, 4. And in fact, we also know, because this cannot be as low as 4, and yellow is not in any of these cells, yellow is in here. Forget what these are for a second. And then yellow is up there. And this is a big digit. This is 6 or 8, because it's not the 1, 2, 3, 4s. And therefore, this is 3 or 4, which will immensely restrict what we can do here now. Now, if this is 2, 4, that is 6, and 3, that would work. If this is anything else, yeah, there was never a 3 in here, because that would have been joined with a 6. So we have to have a 2 amongst one of these cells. And then my options are, let me just think this through, 1, 2, 3 with a 6. No, because that would be, again, we've repeated that double 6. 1, 2 with a 4 and a 7 works. Why is this different? Yes, because this is 6, 8, this is 3, 4. So that's not 5 anymore. I can't do 1, 2, 2. I can do 1, 2, 4 and a 7. I guess I could do 2, 4. No, I can't get to 8. 1, 2 is 2. I'd need a 5, which is not a black crop dot. And 2, 4, I would need a 4, and this would have to be 2 or 8, both of which are not available. So 8 is off the table as well. And this is green. No, it could be 4. No, it can't be. Yeah, let me show you. If this is 4, I can't have a 4 in here, because that would be 2, 4. And then this 4 is not blue, it's not yellow, it's not orange, it's green. Right? I'm just going to color it, because I think it's green regardless. Now, if this is 3, it's obviously not these 2 cells, nor this cell, is always green. So green now is 3 or 4. And therefore, this is another 6 or 8. Okay. We know that one of these cells is 3, 4 with a 6, 8, and it's not the green one. And therefore, I don't think either of these could be 3 or 4 anymore. This is a 1, 2 pair. And therefore, this is 2, 4. Double the blues. And then the last one is in here. So this is 1, 2. This has to be 3, 4, and it's left as a 4. That's 4, that's 2, that's 3, that's 9. 30 minutes to get to the first set of digits. That's now yellow. 3, 3, 3, 6. 4, 8. Not yellow. This can't be the intended path. Right, not 1, not 3. So this is not 3, 6. This could be 2, 4 or 4, 8. Definitely a 4. and it's not a 2 because 2 is yellow. Yeah. 4, 8. No 8s. Actually an 8. 5, 7. So we're left with 6, 9. Not going to leave a 9 on here. That's a 6. That's a 9. This is now 8 or 9 because these have to be, oh, in fact, it's not a 1. That's a 2. That's a 1. To make this a 9. And that's my yellow. And this is 5, 7. And this is 6. 2, 5, 7, I'm going to say. 7 in here, 1 in there would be 8, doesn't work. 7 here, that would be 2. That's not available to get to 9, so that's not 7. 8 doesn't work because that can't be a 1. That's 4. That's 8. This can't be a 1. It can be a 2 with a... It can't be a 2 with a 6. No, because of that 6. 3 with a 7 works. A second 4 with an 8 seems to work. And a 5 and 9 seems to work. Okay. Interesting. This can't be 2 or 4. This is 1. I need another 1 in here. Because otherwise, if I go with the next available digits, which is not 1, 2, or 4, that would be 3, 5, plus the 1, that's 9. So I need to have another 1, and that 1 is in there. So now I have 2 plus not 2. That could be 3 with a 5. It can't be a 4. It can be a 5 with a 7. And it can't be 6. It's gone. This is not 1 or 3. This is 2, 4, 8 again, and it's 2 or 4 because it's not an 8. This black crochet dot, not 8, not 3, not 1. I think this can only be 2, 4. That's not a 2. And this one here is interesting because this is not 1, 2, or 3. So this is 4, 6, 8. It's quite a large setup. 6 or 3, 8 would be 4, and the 4 could be 8 or 2. A few too many digits there. This is a reasonably large digit. 3 at least, 2 at least, and 3. So the minimum I can make this, oh, hang on. Yeah, 3, 1, 2, 3. So 1, 3, 3 is the minimum I can make this. Can't have one. How about 2, 1, 3, 3? That looks possible. 2, 1 gone. That could be 4, 8, can't it? No, can it? Double 3 is 6 and 2. That would be an 8. Interesting. Pardon me, this arrow seems interesting right now. I just want to see what is the minimum. And the minimum seems to be quite big. So let's try that again. This is at least a 3. This is not a 1. This is at least a 2. And this can be a 1, but that would make this a 2, and then I'd have to replace this with a 3. So that seems like the minimum, because I did try and make this a 2, and then obviously that ends up being bigger, because that would have to be something that is not a 2 in here. And then the alternative, yeah. So this is at least 7, and it's not an 8. It could be a 9. I mean, this is almost certainly a 3. I just don't know if I want to go through all the hassle of trying to demonstrate that. 3 in here, and this can't be a 9. So it has to be a maximum of 8. which means I only have 5. I guess what I'm reaching for here is I have to have a 1, which I do. Sudoku Sleuth. So that's a 1 plus not a 2. I could do another 3. So this is 7 or 8. And this is 1, 3, or 4. That's not a 3. Sorry, why is that 7? Yeah, I could do double 3, 1. That makes sense. Double 3, 1 would force this to be a 4. Let's come back to this. There must be undoubtedly some Sudoku I am missing. 2, 4, that is not a 2, that is the 2. That gives me 4, 2, 4, 2. Two is one of these 2 cells. One of these 2. And one of these, oh no, one of these 2. One of these 4, I should say. Ones. So that's 3. So plus the 1, can't have 2. I could have 3, so let me just think about options. I could do 3, 1 to get to 6. Nope, not available. So with a 1 and no 3 to get to 6, the next one available is 5. So that's 8 or 9. So this is 1, 5, 6 with a definite 1. This one is not 1 or 2. It can be 3, and if it's not, it'll be 5. So 5 feels like, yeah, because 1 is not available. The minimum here is a 3. So I'm at least at 5 in here. 5 is too big. And 4 is not available. That's just 3. And therefore this is not 3, this is not 7. That also removes 3, 6 as an option. This is 2, 4, 8 with a definite 4, which gives me a 5 in here and a 9 in there. Now, these are already at 5, and the next available digit is a 3. And it has to be because I don't have a 9 available. That's an 8. That gives me a 7, and therefore a 3, 1 in here. And that makes a minimum of 4 at this point. And I'm pretty sure I can no longer get to a 7. 2, 1, that would be 1 or 4. 1 would require a 2. Yeah. 9, I mean it wasn't a 7 because I placed it. Come on, Sleuth. And have options, but let me just think about this for a second. I mean 7 is not here. Where is 7 in column 6? It can only be there. 7, 5, 2. And 9 can only be down here, which means that this is 1, 6. And this is another 5, 7. Given there isn't anywhere else for it, that means that this is 3, this is 5, this is 7, this is 5, this is 7. And all of these have to be 2, 4, 8. That's the only thing that's left. And I'm pretty sure the 8 is going to be in here. So that's the 4, 8. That's the 2. These are not 2. These look like 3, 6 now. 4, 3, and 6 to make this 9 work. Yeah, 1 can't go in here. That would be a 2. 2 is not available. 3 and 6 works, and then 4, 8 not available. 3, 6, 4, 8, 4. And that's not a 2, that's a 2. And these cells, they are 1, 5, 7. That's the 5. That's the 1, that's the 7. That's not the one, that's the one. Double 1 here, not 2, 3. It can be a 4, can't it? No, that would be 6. That works. Let me just pencil mark what these are. 6, 7, 8. So the double 1, as in that's 2 less. 5 is not available. 6 is not available. That's 4. That's 6. That's 7. That's 8 because of this 8. There's a 9 in here somewhere. That's the 9 and the 5. And another 9 and a 6. That 4 gave me an 8 earlier and a 4. I need 5 and something else. Eight, 5, 7, 5, 1, 6, 8 and 9. That's 9 and 8. This is 7. This is 4. In here is 5. I need a 6, which is there, and a 7. And if I've not made any mistakes, that's an 8 for the finish. It's a lovely puzzle, full deck and missing a few cards. It's once again, I'm going to say I massively suspect that I missed an easier break-in than all the shenanigans I had with all of these black Kropke dots. It doesn't feel like a 1-star difficulty rating otherwise. So that could be 2 for 2 for full deck and missing a few cards, where I've missed the more obvious break-in. But I will tell you, though, at least I didn't use bifurcation, so there is a logical conclusion to all of this. Hope that you guys enjoyed the puzzle video. We'll see you in the comments. See you soon. Bye-bye for now.